Hello and welcome everyone to Tournament Central as we bring you coverage of the final day of the 2023 Dynamic Disc Open. First of all, I want to wish a happy Father's Day out there to everyone, including yourself, of course, Terry Miller, as that's what a lot of people are celebrating this Sunday, along with some fantastic disc golf they're about to share. And Terry, how's it going out there at Emporia today? It seems like the weather has been fantastic these first 2 days, and everyone's taking full advantage. Is today looking exactly the same?
Well, first of all, good morning, and yes, happy Father's Day to everyone out there and all of the father-like figures. Have an incredible day, and hopefully we will here in Emporia as well. The conditions right now are actually the best that I've experienced all weekend. The winds are still low, which is great. The humidity is lower, and the temperatures are currently lower, and we're seeing some cloud cover. Yesterday started off similar, but eventually those clouds burned off, and it was hot and muggy and very sunny, just as it was during day one. So we'll see what we're going to get throughout the rest of the day, but right now, things are looking beautiful.
Well, you know what else is looking beautiful is the level of golf that we've been seeing out of FPO this week, and we have a three-way tie for first place. First up on that list that we're going to be discussing here is going to be Holyn Handley, who, of course, shot the hot round on the opening day at 7 under par and has been consistent ever since. Let's hear from her now after her last round.
Honestly, it didn't feel too much like a roller coaster. I feel like I did a pretty good job of just focusing on the next shot and staying within myself. I didn't really pay attention to what scores were today or anything like that, just so that I wouldn't feel any unneeded pressure. I knew I was birdieing a bunch in a row, and that spit out on 7 was unfortunate. It would have made it 6, but yeah, I mean, I know when I'm playing well and I know when I'm not scoring well, but I just try to focus on, what can you do on the next shot, not what does that mean for the entirety of my score. Yeah, my caddy actually did a really good job helping me today. We were walking up to the putt on 15, and he was like, hey, you're kind of softening things again. You need to attack these drives. And he was right, because on 14, that's what happened, is I kind of got a little soft and tickled some branches that caused the bogey on 14. And then same thing with 15. I didn't quite get that pop on the drive, and so I was a little short and almost went OB again. And then to turn around on 16 and throw the Athena hard and get it on the island, and then put the putt in the air and actually get the birdie there. So credit to him.
Of course, Holyn Handley is kind of one of the players over the last couple of years that's really been that next class of FPO player. She has finished in the top 10 or better at 9 of the 12 tour stops she's attended this year, and she already has some podium finishes at the Las Vegas Challenge, as well as at 2 silver events at the Beaver State Fling and the Cascade Challenge. So plenty of talent, and right now, Terry Miller, she might be poised to secure her first ever win on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Well, we continue to say it. It's just a matter of time before she does take down that first win. It's exciting to see that her and her good friend Ella Hansen are going to be on the card here, battling it out during our final round. What sticks out most to me is Holyn yesterday had a lot of C2 looks, especially during that back half of the course. That's when she was struggling. She had C2 looks, but she only converted on one of them. And I feel like that was one of her biggest challenges. We saw her putting better during round number 1 from C2. Her C1X was great. It was 89%. So she was getting all of the putts she needed to, but to only have one putt, to only have 14% from C2, I feel like that's an area where she can certainly clean things up and possibly pick up a few strokes.
That's very true. I mean, she sits in the top 5 for the tournament for reaching Circle 2 in regulation, and she's up there for birdie percentage and scrambling as well. So just if she can get that Circle 2 putt going, definitely could really give her the edge here. But she is joined, as a name you already mentioned, Ella Hansen, who is kind of right there with Holyn Handley. I think they're kind of from the same class, so to speak, kind of coming up together. And Ella, sits at 11 under par after 2 rounds, being very consistent in both opening day and in moving day. And we're going to catch up with Ella Hansen here as well.
I'm really proud of being able to fight back after taking a double on hole 1. I mean, trying to figure out the wind kind of picked up right before we threw, and, unfortunate little cut roll out of bounds. And, I just kind of told myself, hole 1, is not going to be the whole tournament. It's not going to be the whole round. And I just really tried to stay within my means, throwing the shots that I know I can do without trying to play any hero ball kind of stuff. I think it's gonna just take kind of the same thing, playing within my game. Obviously, getting down to the wire the last couple holes, it might be a little bit more of a battle and might have to make some decisions. But I've found the most success when I just play my game, play what I know, throw the shots that I'm comfortable with. Out here, there's a lot of flexibility about what kind of shots you can throw back in, forehand, things like that. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing what I can and not doing anything I regret.
Yeah, and I mean, we have Ella, who's had a podium finish this year at Waco, as well as some top 5 finishes at the Las Vegas Challenge and the OTB Open. We have seen her in contention multiple times this year for a win, and just like Holland Handley, today she is in a position to secure her first ever win on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. What do you think it's going to take for Ella to take that next step and actually finally claim a title?
Well, first, let me name a few of the similarities that I'm seeing. Big distance, forehand, backhand friendly. Am I talking about Holland or am I talking about Ella, right? They're both very well versed in those categories. So I see them squared up in that sense. But what I look at is how they finished out their rounds yesterday. Over the last 6 or 7 holes, we saw Holland Handley go 3 over. Ella Hansen, on the other hand, with that eagle on the final hole, we saw her go 1 or 2 under. So a very different, you're talking about a 4 or 5 stroke swing just in those last 6 holes on the course. So if Ella Hansen can clean up a few of those mistakes, including the double OB that she had on hole number 1, she obviously will be right there as a contender. She had the most OBs of all the women on the lead card yesterday with 4. In fact, in the top 5 or 6 women that I saw, she had the most OBs. So she cleans up a few of those OBs, continues to push forward through the back half, including possibly that eagle opportunity on 18. She might be hoisting a trophy at the end of the weekend.
Yeah, she was actually the only player in FPO to card the eagle on 18 on moving day, and she's one of only 3 players to do it in the entire tournament. So definitely showing some strong finishes to her rounds to really keep herself into contention. But, you're talking big backhand, big forehand. You're talking about all those things. We have another player that's up there in the top 3 that you could really describe in the same fashion, and someone who does have that winning pedigree, which is, of course, none other than Haley King, who also sits at the top of the leaderboard. We'll catch up with her on the backside of the break.
Double G Craft Jerky has been a favorite of mine for years. The unique flavors and delicious taste make it the perfect snack. Every bag of Double G Jerky sold contributes to the Double G Children's Foundation, which helps support youth disc golf. Visit doublegjerky.com and use coupon code DGPT on your order to get a free 1-ounce bag of jerky with your order.
I'm asked all the time, why do you play disc golf so much? The best answer I can think about is, there's just something about disc golf. You might think it's just like any other sport, but I can promise you this is not the case. Disc golf is the walking nature, the closing of your computer, the discipline that it requires, that sound of those chains. I don't know what it is. The whole world should have the opportunity to try it. Let's grow the sport.
All right, folks, and welcome back here at Tournament Central as we continue to bring you coverage of this final day in Emporia, Kansas for the Dynamic Disc Open. We've talked through a couple of our players who are sitting in a 3-way tie for first place, and now we have one more member on that list that we need to discuss, and that is, of course, going to be Haley King. You can see her there on the top of the leaderboard alongside Ella and Holland Handley. You know, she has a chance now to grab her first win of the season and her first win since the 2022 United States Women's Disc Golf Championships in June of last year. We definitely know what she's capable of, and she's been looking cool as a cucumber in our interview as we take a look at what she had to say yesterday.
I mean, I didn't think it was still that good. I had the eagle, so it made me feel pretty good through there, but I felt bored. Yeah, it didn't do anything too cool in my mind, but yeah. I didn't think I could throw a flick that far up to the basket on hole 9, and I mean, I guess I did. Got a lot of spin, got it there, and just made the putt. Yeah. I always tell my caddy that I like a circle 2 putt so I can give it a little jumper and get that round going. I'm extremely excited. It's feeling good. I had a little bit of help with Bradley Williams before the tournament started, and he basically taught me how to throw flat again. So it feels good to, throw big distance drives out in this wind and on these big holes. I feel like I'm not playing my best, and I just shot an 8 down, I guess. So yeah, I think that speaks for itself. Yeah.
The confidence that Haley King speaks with there, saying that she got bored out there, saying that she felt she didn't even play that well. That's crazy to me because she's leading the field right now in fairway hits and reaching circle 2 in regulation and in birdie percentage. And she's been in the top 3 in birdie percentage for the entire season, Terry. I mean, she is a killer on the course, and just to kind of see that attitude from her, that swagger about her, I guess you could say, it's certainly impressive.
Yeah, and you look at her round, and I look at her scorecard, and I think, how is that boring? I mean, unless birdies are boring. She had, double digits in terms of birdies. She had the eagle on 9. She did have 4 over par strokes when it was all said and done, so she had just 4 pars on the day. And when I think of a boring round, I think of someone who maybe had, 12 or 15 pars and maybe sprinkled in a birdie or a bogey. But no, plenty of blue on the scorecard as you're seeing. And she said there that she loves that circle 2. You'd think that we might see her improve on that stat then. She only converted on 1 of them. It was 17% yesterday. Clearly, she's one of our long-range distance putters in the FPO field. In fact, she might be the top of that class when it comes to long-range putting. So today, again, if she turns that on, she might be able to separate herself from the rest of the field. But look at the end of her last 5 or 6 holes. And I know I just said this about Ella Hansen. She destroyed the back. She had the 1 hiccup on hole number 17, otherwise destroyed the back. If she carries some of that momentum, just like we saw from Ella, that might put pressure on whoever else is in contention.
Yeah, I mean, King is just certainly a complete athlete, and, already has some strong finishes this year, reaching the podium at Jonesboro and Champions Cup, our first major of the year. Had some top 10s at Waco, LBC, and the OTB Open as well. So we know that she can succeed. We've seen her win in the past, just looking for that first win this year. Another player that's looking for her first win of the season is none other than Missy Gannon, who sits just behind our leaders and has shot 2 really solid rounds, 5 under par, very consistent, and is just 1 stroke off the lead as we head into our final round here. Let's catch up with Missy after her round from yesterday.
Yeah, I noticed yesterday evening, it was so hot yesterday that after the round, we all kind of did our own things, but we're all staying at the fairgrounds, Holland, myself, and Ella, and a few other people. And at the same time, right when the sun was starting to go down, we all kind of just moseyed outside and started putting and having a nice, evening putting session. So, yeah, I mean, that's just, it's key to making those putts out here, and it comes down to putts a lot of the time. And I think I got to figure out hole 17. I keep messing that one up, but a little bit of the same, a little bit of birdieing different holes. So, yeah, I just have to now try to put it all together. I think I can score really well out here, so now it's just a matter of execution.
Yeah, I mean, Gannon has just been a consistent performer this year. She has hit the top 10 in 9 of the 11 tour stops she's been on this year. That includes some podium finishes at the Las Vegas Challenge and the Open at Austin. She also just came off of a podium finish at the Zootown Open heading into this event. And today, gives her an opportunity to score her first win since winning the Ledgestone Open in August of last year, as well as, of course, she was our DGPT champion in 2021, as well as taking the title at Des Moines. So she has proven that she can win, Terry Miller, but she hasn't quite put it all together for a W this year. What are you thinking about her chances out there today? She's just 1 stroke behind the leaders.
Well, in one word we always attribute with Missy is consistent. She's had a 5-under first round, the 5-under second round. And what sticks out to me is she said, I really need to figure out hole 17. To be fair, our entire lead card that we're going to see today, all 4 of them, when you add up what they did on 17, they played it as 4 over. So hole 17 proving challenging for all of the competitors. So Missy's not alone in that front. She had 75% C1X putting, so a solid day there yesterday. We know she can improve on that slightly. She did go 1 for 3 from circle 2, so there might be an extra opportunity or 2 there, but closing out strong. Hole number 17, that may be the difference maker. That may determine how someone has to attack 18. To be fair, when you think about Holland Hanley, Haley King, as well as Ella Hansen, all 3 of them definitely can go for that eagle on hole number 18. Missy Gannon, I see her guaranteeing a birdie, but I don't know if she's quite got it to get the eagle. So she may need an extra stroke or 2 cushion heading into 18. That's something we'll have to keep our eyes on.
Absolutely. She also doesn't have that same sidearm weapon that some of the other competitors are having ahead of her on the leaderboard. But the putting, I think, is a big thing that you hit on that could be a big difference maker coming down the stretch, as we know that Missy is one of the best putters in the FPO division, and we look forward to seeing her out there today. But, you know, we don't have action just going on in Emporia this weekend, Terry. We also need to catch up with what's been going down in the Kona Peach Day Open, and we will catch you up with that right after the break.
What makes the Halal Guys so deliciously different? You might have heard of our famously long cart lines that NYC fans happily stand in. Today, with over 100 plus restaurants across the globe, we are your place to experience authentic American halal. Enjoy our delicious falafel, Euro sandwich, platters, and sides topped with our famously flavorful white and hot sauces. Order online today and taste how we make difference so delicious. The Halal Guys, bringing something deliciously different to the table.
So one of my friends gave me this set of DGPT trading cards because they know I'm into disc golf and looking at tiny pictures of my favorite players, I guess. Oh, wow. A relic card. It's it's got a piece of disc in it from Paul McBeath. Ha! So apparently that Paul McBeath relic card was pretty rare and worth a lot of money. So I got 3 more sets. You know, the more I do this, the more I see why people get so intense about trading cards. I'm still doing this ironically, by the way. Oh my gosh. 6 times to 20, on card auto, case hit, bookend. It's gotta be at least a 9. Look at how perfect that is. Those sharp corners. 3 big hits, only 2 dupes. Oh, this box was a banger. I'm definitely sending this in. I'm buying all the Heimberg I can get my hands on. So if you see something...
And now we're going to be checking in on what's been going on across the pond over at the Kona Peach Day Open. We had Rachel Turton entering the final round with a lead, and she's picking up some birdies on hole 2, as well as a big birdie putt on hole 7. She wound up being 74% from C1X on the weekend. Another birdie on hole 11 really helped her out, as she had 5 birdies on the day to go 1 under, and so 8 under overall for the tournament. A big par save on 15 with another great putt is what really helped propel her forward, and so she is your winner. And we also have MPO action underway now that you can check out on Disc Golf Network, as we have Nicholas Antala and Paul McBeath coming down to the wire right now. But in the meantime, let's hear from Rachel Turton after her big win.
And yeah, what a fantastic course it is. You know, this was the place that I played my first international tournament 2 years ago now. So I'm really excited to be back, and I'm ecstatic to have taken it down.
What does it mean to you to put United Kingdom in the top of European disc golf competition?
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, there's a lot of women in the UK now who are starting to play, and I think seeing somebody on a big stage like this, I think is, you know, lets them know that they can achieve whatever they want, and they should keep on working hard, and they can do it too. So it's nice to be able to represent my country.
All right, and I'm actually going to pass things off here for a second to Terry Miller and Hayden Henry to give you a little bit of a check-in with the PDGA.
Thank you, Dustin. Again, welcome in Hayden Henry. We just saw champion crowned Rachel Turton, and we saw that she was here in the U.S., and was that a warm-up for her?
Yeah, I think so. I had 3 events over here, all in the top 15, and went over and took down an international event. So that's one of the stats I'm going to look up and see, what player we had from Great Britain win at this level before. Disc golf continues to grow everywhere, including the United Kingdom. You see Scott Stokely going over there and playing all over the UK. I know Greg Barsby is going to go do some stuff before the European swing in the UK, so very cool to see.
Well, certainly international, and well, what's helping drive the ship and steer us with the PDJ is, of course, our PDJ Board of Directors. Talk to us about where we are with that process and what needs to happen.
I have 13 days to get to know all the candidates, the Global Board and the PDJ Europe Board, before voting opens July 1st. So you can go read their introductions, their goals, their statements, and listen to the podcast for all the candidates. Get ready to vote July 1st. And like I said, many times we're going to hammer it home that this is very crucial, that the entire membership gets involved and votes.
All right. Well, we've even have a nominating committee. We had so many people that were excited about becoming board members that they already trimmed it down to 6. Again, all of those interviews are out there and available, all thanks to Grant Zellner. That's everything with Hayden Henry and the PDJ. Back to you, Dustin.
Thank you so much for letting me know about all that good stuff, as we've been talking a lot about FPO so far today. Well, of course, we have the MPO kicking off later this afternoon, and they have a very tight race for the title going on over there as well. Let's actually hear from some of our leaders over in the MPO division and what's been going on so far for them this weekend.
I've never really played at this column, so it's you kind of have to make a whole new game plan, because it's usually you have to throw only overstable stuff, but now you can there's some flippy things and get some more distance.
What is it going to take this down tomorrow?
Just what I've been doing, getting the birdies and keeping it clean.
Your best finish previously here this year on the Disc Golf Pro Tour is 16th at Waco. Of course, you're looking to improve on that. How do you like your chances for taking this thing down?
Oh man, these guys are next level talent-wise. It's going to take a lot for me to win this event. But anything special can happen.
I think you're going to have to shoot another round in the double digits. How far in the double digits, we'll see. But if we get the same weather, it's going to be, you got to get a lot of birdies in order to win this tournament. I've never won out here in Kansas. I've come close before, but yeah, it'd be super cool to win out here for the first time.
Bad skip on 8, fought back, made a really good par save on 9, but I feel like I fought back really good that round. I just kind of used my code word, Van Halen. It kind of relaxed me, and boom. And just kept going with it.
All right, that's Matty-O. He's sitting on the lead card. We'll see him Championship Sunday.
Thank you, Terry. Matt Lee Crew.
Oh, my God, I love Matty-O. I don't know that there's another golfer that has quite the personality he has, but, I mean, over on the MPO side, Terry, it is crazy what's going on over there. I mean, you got a couple of guys tied for the lead and Alden Harris and Calvin Heinberg, but you got Matty-O and Parker Welk just 2 strokes behind, tied for 3rd. Then you got a 4-way tie for 5th, a 4-way tie for 9th. Everyone's only a couple of strokes, and it's been like this all year, it feels like, where you just never really know where the win's going to come from.
Well, and the fact that, yeah, we've seen so many chase card winners, of course, very exciting here on the Pro Tour. And my last thought on this would be 3 out of the 4 on our lead card have never won an Elite Series event. Calvin Heinberg, however, the exact opposite. He seems to be winning everything, and he's your leader on the Disc Golf Pro Tour in 2023 in the standings. It's going to be exciting.
Indeed, it is going to be exciting, but we're not quite done talking about FPO, because while we talked about some of our members on the league card, we still have a couple of other players in contention for the win. And of course, Kristen Tatar is always going to be at the top of that list, it seems like. We'll see if she can make the comeback, and we'll discuss that a little bit more on the backside of the break. All right, folks, and we're back here at Tournament Central. Again, I'm Dustin Murray. Joining me with Terry Miller. And we have one more player we needed to talk about here, of course, at the Dynamic Disc Open. And, of course, that's none other than Kristen Tatar, who shot a 5-under par on the opening day and followed things up with a 4-under par yesterday to remain in our top 5 as we enter the final round. Of course, she's already collected some huge wins this year at Waco, the Music City Open, and, of course, our major at the Champions Cup. And then at our first Elite Plus event, of course, at the Portland Open. And she's been consistently sitting inside the top 5. One thing I got to tell you, Terry, is her worst placing so far this year is 6th at Jonesboro. And prior to that, the last time she finished outside of the top 5 on the tour was the World Championships in 2019, where she also took 6th place. I mean, I don't think you can talk about a more consistent performer than Kristen Tatar.
Yeah, there's a reason she's our #1 player in the world and our current world champion and our current Dynamic Disc Open champion, trying to defend her title here. And what I would think about when I look at her scorecard and what she's done, I would somewhat mirror or mimic what we talked about with Missy Gannon. Similar scores, 5-under and 4-under. Missy had a pair of 5s, but it's just a matter of putting it all together. We saw incredible putting from Kristen Tatar during round 1 from C2. However, her C1 putting was a little bit off. Yesterday, she had decent putting from C1, but didn't convert at all from C2. And Kristen definitely can make those longer putts. She's really good, especially in that 35 to 45-foot range. That's usually where she picks up a bonus stroke or two, but she struggled there in the last third of the course. I know I was saying that about Holland Hanley. And it was a very exciting up and down round for Kristen near the back half. She's going to have to clean that up 12, 13, 16. She's one of the few women that actually performed very well on hole 17. I told you of the struggles that we saw from the lead card yesterday. They played it 4 over. Kristen on the chase card had played it 1 under when you're looking at how she was closing out and, of course, picking up that birdie on 18. So Kristen, certainly not out of it. I know when we were closing out yesterday, she was still the favorite to win according to the UDisc probability. She was listed at 36% win probability, and our leader in Holland Hanley was listed at 18%. She was the next highest listing. So UDisc still likes Kristen. Of course, we have to go out and play 18 more holes, but I think we're going to have an exciting finish here nonetheless.
Yeah, it's hard to pick against Kristen Tatar considering how consistent she's been and considering that she's kind of defending home turf from her World Championship from last year here in Emporia. And the one thing, though, she hasn't really had to play from behind very much. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out on the course today. And, Terry, we look forward to hearing from you on the course throughout today's broadcast. But we'll say goodbye to you for now, buddy. Have a good time out there.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great afternoon.
Indeed, it should be a good one, folks, as we have just one more segment to go here before the action kicks off live for FPO, so don't go anywhere. We're just nearing our tee off.
The Trilogy Challenge is back, y'all.
My favorite putter, which is the Retro Orbit Pure.
Mine will be a Tournament Ice Orbit Warship.
And the driver for the Trilogy Challenge is my signature series, Fusion Ice Orbit Vandal. Are you ready to hit the course with these 3 discs for the Trilogy Challenge?
I hope you are. If you need more information, then go check out trilogychallenge.com.
Trilogy Challenge 2023. Be there.